The air crackled with tension, the hum of anticipation filling the silent night. Two figures, locked in a deadly dance, moved with the grace of seasoned warriors. The younger, a magician, his form lithe and nimble, darted and weaved, his every move a calculated response to the older, a swordsman, his movements fluid and precise. The younger, though gifted, was clearly outmatched. His reliance on magic, while powerful, was a double-edged sword. It granted him incredible abilities, but it also left him vulnerable. The swordsman, on the other hand, was a master of his craft. His every strike was deliberate, his every feint a calculated risk. Physical strength buffs on a magician are pretty useless, the younger mused, a hint of desperation in his voice. But for now, I'm a swordsman, since I'm a magician. I need to be aware of the strength, stamina, and agility differences between him and me, even if I'm being protected by Mr. He. It's like installing a car engine on a bike and pedaling as hard as I could. It's like a steep downhill. If I don't control my speed and take a huge curve, I will probably die. The swordsman, unmoved, continued his relentless assault. It's normal for a magician to be at a disadvantage against an assassin. It might have been a good idea to bring out a weapon, but in the end, you're just a magician. If your physical level couldn't even reach the rank, would holding a weapon even make a difference? The younger, undeterred, fought back with renewed vigor. It certainly does. Your movements are good, although you were buffed. I feel a lot of practice in those movements. It was only for a moment, but he caught up with him. If I can go just a little faster, fast and precise, pretty cool. It really was a good idea to abandon magic and hold a weapon, but that's just it. If you think a little, you might realize why. There aren't any magical swordsmen under the masses of hunters. The younger's desperation grew as the swordsman's attacks became more relentless. The healers are pain. I can't let this become an endurance battle. I'll eliminate you as fast as I can. How do you show your back to a swordsman? You look down on me too much. The swordsman, a wry smile playing on his lips, responded. Looks like you're not just a regular old man. I may not look like it, but I have an S-rank student. Even if my body can't keep up, my skills will, unfortunately. There's always a limit to one's given strength. Did you honestly think that a magician can follow an assassin's speed? Such naivety. The younger, sensing defeat, launched a final, desperate attack. If it was someone else, then you might have won, but my rank itself is superior to yours. A magician probably can't even see my movements. The swordsman, with a swift and decisive strike, disarmed his opponent. Mr. Song, yeah, that's right. It seems like you finally realize it's all futile. I'll kill you painlessly in return. Just as the swordsman was about to deliver the killing blow, a sudden shift in the air, a flicker of energy, and the younger magician was gone. In his place stood a figure cloaked in shadow, their face obscured. Did it work? A magician like you, acting like a swordsman to hide his magical skills, to unleash your magical power as soon as a sword is hurtling towards you? Not a bad plan at all. You sly old fox, of course it is. This it die. The cloaked figure, with a swift movement, disarmed the swordsman. You again. Who are you? What's your rank? Sung Jin-Woo I rank? The swordsman, stunned, could only stammer. An I rank? Heh, that can't be. Somehow, did you? If you were a power type, then unleashing that kind of strength would have been possible for even an E rank. However, seeing your reaction speed just now, you're not normal. You did block my attacks 2 times after all. Then are you an assassin type? No, that's not it either. You've been hiding your strength, haven't you? A fake ranker? No, it looks like you've known them for a long time, so that can't be it. There's no way a fake ranker would let anyone who saw their real power live. Then there's only one answer. You've been reawakened. The cloaked figure removed their hood, revealing a face etched with age and wisdom. Mr. Sun, reawakened by the reactions, you've been reawakened recently. Thinking about it recently, my boss did go to see someone because he thought he was reawakened anyways. It seems like you have little experience in being a hunter. In that case, let me teach you a lesson as your superior. The air crackled with tension as 2 formidable figures faced off. The once masked swordsman, now revealed, exuded an aura of raw power. His opponent, a seasoned hunter, stood his ground, his eyes gleaming with determination. By the reactions, you've been reawakened recently, huh? The swordsman observed, his voice a low rumble. Thinking about it recently, my boss did go to see someone because he thought he was reawakened anyways. It seems like you have little experience in being a hunter. In that case, let me teach you a lesson as your superior. The hunter, undeterred, retorted, "Tell me, why did you do this? I mean, everything that happened, that's a pretty damn scary face you got there." A wry smile crept across the swordsman's lips. "Lighten up. It's not like I'm doing this for fun. I heard that everything that happens in a dungeon stays in the dungeon. This is 2 billion won. I think you can understand what I'm trying to say. Please, hunter, I beg you, please kill those bastards. In addition to this money, 1 billion more to take care of the other hunters. Is that possible for you? But why are you doing this? When you find a piece of trash in the streets, you feel uncomfortable, but you don't pick it up. Why pick them up and throw them in the trash? Then one of the prisoners you are responsible for traumatized my daughter because of that. She hung herself, and her mother is still in the hospital from the shark. Thinking about how that animal will freely roam the streets after a few years, despite what is done, it doesn't let me sleep at night." The swordsman's voice softened. "I understand. I will provide an adequate service worthy of 3 billion won, so don't worry. I can't just refuse a father whose daughter was manhandled by these criminals. I tried to refuse by raising the price, but he accepted it right away. Although things have become like this, I don't want to hurt you guys. If you promise to not speak of today's incident, I will let you all go. Don't you think?" The hunter, however, remained skeptical. "You may say that, but your expression tells me that you want to teach us a lesson and show us who's superior." "No, I had no intention of believing your words in the first place. There's no reason to believe someone who is creating random stories about death moments ago." The swordsman's expression hardened. "Hair, it doesn't matter if you believe me or not. It's just pitiful that all of you will die alongside those insects." The hunter, fueled by anger and desperation, retorted, "Then you're damn pitiful as well. What? Because you will die soon. I don't know how many ranks you rose since E rank, but it won't be as easy as you think." The battle erupted, a whirlwind of motion and power. The hunter, though skilled, struggled to keep pace with the swordsman's relentless assault. "Slow, pretty fast. How can they move like this? He really is no longer the Mr. Sun I know. Hey, 3 billion won is too little for this job now. Who would have thought I'd meet a hunter at this level? Here, our speeds are the same. Is this your fastest speed? Even if your eyes can catch up, if your body can't, then it's useless. Jin-Woo, stay strong. Hasten, burn, booster. I can't play around anymore." The swordsman, his eyes gleaming with a cold intensity, pressed his advantage. "Even if we have similar specs and skills, our difference in experience is too vast, and that difference will lead to your defeat. If you're gonna protect your healer, then do it right." As the battle reached its climax, a sudden, ominous voice echoed in the minds of both combatants. "Jin-Woo, you're pretty durable, sorry, but can you lower your killing intent, please? An emergency quest has activated. It's sensitive to killing intent." The system activated on its own again. Quest directions. Emergency quest. Extermination. There are players who have killing intent towards you in close proximity. Slay them and ensure your safety. If this quest is not completed, your heart will stop. Number of players to kill. Number of players killed. Oh, I'm coming. I'm holding the advantage. What is he thinking? The stakes had just been raised. The battle, once a personal duel, had now become a matter of life and death. As the two warriors clashed, the fate of the hunter and the swordsman hung in the balance. The unfolding of destiny. The hunter, now aware of the impending doom, fought with renewed vigor. He unleashed a barrage of attacks, each more powerful than the last. However, the swordsman, with his superior skill and strength, effortlessly deflected every blow. "You're not bad," the swordsman admitted, a hint of respect in his voice, "but you're still not enough." The hunter, gritting his teeth, refused to yield. He knew that he had to find a way to turn the tide of the battle. He had to find a weakness, a flaw in the swordsman's defenses. Suddenly, an idea struck him. He feigned a retreat, luring the swordsman into a false sense of security. As the swordsman advanced, the hunter unleashed a powerful counterattack. The swordsman, caught off guard, was forced to defend himself. In the chaos of the battle, the hunter seized his opportunity. He struck at the swordsman's weak point, a scar on his shoulder. The swordsman, momentarily stunned, stumbled back. The hunter, sensing his advantage, pressed the attack. He unleashed a flurry of blows, each more devastating than the last. The swordsman, struggling to regain his footing, was overwhelmed. Just as the hunter was about to deliver the final blow, the emergency quest activated. A surge of power coursed through the swordsman's veins, revitalizing him. He countered the hunter's attack, sending him flying. The hunter, dazed and battered, struggled to rise. He knew that he was outmatched, but he refused to give up. He had to protect his comrades, to fulfill his duty. The swordsman, sensing the hunter's determination, smiled grimly. "You have heart, young one, but it's not enough." With a swift motion, the swordsman raised his sword. The hunter, knowing that he could not defeat the swordsman in a fair fight, resorted to a desperate measure. He activated a hidden ability, a powerful technique that could only be used once. A blinding light erupted from the hunter's body, enveloping both him and the swordsman. When the light faded, the swordsman was nowhere to be found. The hunter, exhausted but victorious, collapsed to the ground. He had survived, but at a great cost. The emergency quest had taken its toll, leaving him weak and vulnerable. As he lay there, recovering his strength, he couldn't help but wonder what would happen next. The swordsman was a formidable opponent, and he knew that the battle was far from over. The fate of the hunter, and perhaps the world itself, hung in the balance. The air crackled with anticipation as the two warriors faced off. The younger, a rising star, exuded an aura of youthful vigor. His opponent, a seasoned veteran, was a force to be reckoned with, his eyes gleaming with a cold intensity. "I'm coming. I'm holding the advantage." What is he thinking? "I'm actually thankful for the system for once. It's given me another reason for me to kill you." The younger warrior, undeterred, responded. "A class that specializes in daggers and agility. A close-range damage dealer primed in assassination. Best counter to you, yeah? I'm certainly learning a lot from you, including the fact that talkative guys in battle are generally useless." Skill. Sprint activated. Movement speed will increase by 30%. -1 mana will be consumed every minute. The veteran, impressed, commented. He became faster. Does he use skills as well? The battle intensified. A flurry of blows exchanged. The younger warrior, with his agility and deadly precision, landed several blows. However, the veteran, with his superior experience and strength, countered every attack. Effect. Paralysis has activated. Effect. Bleed has activated. Your health will now decrease by 1% per second. Poison? I see. It's your dagger. Looks like it can apply some interesting effects. The enemy's resistance was too high. The dot effect was cancelled. The younger warrior, realizing he was outmatched, resorted to stealth. What? His presence is gone. You actually blocked the attack despite me hiding my presence. Your sense is pretty great. Skill. Stealth. I erase my shape, smell, sound, and even my aura. Only a minuscule amount of assassins, and this rare skill. That being said, no one else knows that I have this stealth skill. The reason being, no one has ever survived after seeing this skill of mine. The veteran, unfazed, countered. Your tendons are severed. It would heal quickly if you were directly healed, but only basic healing spells would work over this distance. Jin-Woo, don't try anything and stay where you are. I will come when it's your turn. The younger warrior, realizing the gravity of the situation, knew he had to buy time for his ally. If it keeps going like this, Mr. Sun's stamina will run out first. I can't even ask for outside help. I can't help Mr. Sun with my own skills, but I must buy enough time for him to get healed. Can you even withstand my attacks with that frail body of yours? You won't be able to reach the speed you used to have. At least how many minutes until your wounds heal? Your leg? A year? You talk too much. Status. Recovery. The veteran, surprised, exclaimed. He healed instantly? Was he not an assassin type? An offense class hunter with healing spells actually exists? Relying on this alone definitely has its limitations. I gotta think of other solutions as well. A trick or perhaps fake confidence. How many times can you use that spell? I can't tell. He's dangerous. The battle raged on, a deadly dance of skill and strategy. The younger warrior, though outmatched, fought with unwavering determination. He knew that every moment counted, every breath precious. As the battle reached its climax, the veteran, sensing the younger warrior's desperation, delivered a final, decisive blow. The younger warrior, struck down, lay motionless on the ground. However, just as the veteran was about to claim victory, a surge of power erupted from the fallen warrior. The younger warrior, his eyes glowing with a sinister light, rose to his feet. Again, one of my emotions died. Even anger itself is a waste on the likes of you. He saw through my stealth again. There's no hesitation when you aim for my neck. I see. I finally know the true difference between you and them. You've killed before? Huh? Haha. We are from the same species after all. I see there are many ways of life and death. The determined time to change his destiny. Even with his life, he was forced to make a difficult decision in such a short span of time. Looks like his appearance wasn't the only part of him that changed. Awakening such an unexpected power, changing the rules of society. New exclusive rules for hunters were created. There's no need to be shackled by laws or morals. The words of the strong are the law, and therefore, I'm going to unleash my full power. The younger warrior, now transformed, unleashed a torrent of attacks, overwhelming the veteran. The veteran, stunned by the sudden surge of power, could only watch in horror as his opponent closed in. Yeah, I think I know how he saw through my stealth. Stealth may hide my presence when activated, but when I attack with high bloodlust, my presence is exposed for a fraction of a second. He's waiting for that moment. Skill, bloodlust activated. A chilling darkness enveloped the battlefield. The veteran, caught in the darkness, was helpless. He could only watch as his life force was slowly drained. What is this? What is this darkness that covers my eyes? Is that his shadow? Hunters, individuals granted extraordinary abilities to combat the monstrous entities emerging from interdimensional gates, walked a tightrope between humanity and something else. They witnessed countless departures, moments where the line between survival and oblivion blurred, often forced to make agonizing choices in the face of unimaginable horrors. It was a life lived on the edge, where the very act of fighting to protect humanity threatened to erode their own. The recent dungeon break had been a brutal reminder of this precarious existence. Jin-Woo, along with a group of seasoned hunters, had ventured into a seemingly routine dungeon, only to be confronted with a betrayal that shook them to their core. Kang Taishik, a hunter known for his efficiency and cold demeanor, had revealed his true colors, turning on his companions in a calculated act of treachery. The ensuing conflict had been a chaotic dance of desperation and raw power. Jin-Woo, previously considered the weakest of the group, found himself thrust into the heart of the struggle. An inexplicable transformation had begun within him, a mysterious power that surged with each challenge, pushing him beyond his perceived limitations. It was a power he didn't fully understand, a force that seemed to draw strength from the very darkness it opposed. The confrontation with Taishik had been a brutal awakening. The seasoned hunter, with his precise strikes and unwavering resolve, had pushed Jin-Woo to the absolute brink. Every fiber of his being had been tested, forcing him to confront his own mortality and the burgeoning power within. In the aftermath, a profound shift had occurred. He had overcome the seemingly insurmountable, but a nagging emptiness accompanied his newfound strength, a sense of something subtly altered, a piece of himself perhaps left behind in the struggle. His fellow hunters, those who had survived the harrowing ordeal, were effusive in their gratitude. They had witnessed Jin-Woo's unexpected strength, a power that had shielded them from certain peril. Their words of thanks echoed in the cavern, a testament to the life-altering events they had just endured. But the immediate danger wasn't entirely extinguished. The dungeon gate, a gaping maw between worlds, remained open, a potential conduit for further incursions. Jin-Woo, driven by an innate sense of duty, volunteered to remain behind, ensuring the gate's closure. He understood the potential ramifications of leaving it unchecked, the risk it posed to the unsuspecting world beyond. The other hunters, recognizing the weight of his decision and having witnessed his capabilities, reluctantly agreed to depart, promising to alert the Hunters Guild to the unfolding situation. Alone amidst the debris, Jin-Woo's gaze fell upon a peculiar object, a rune pulsating with an ethereal glow. It was a stealth rune, an artifact capable of bestowing remarkable abilities related to concealment and subterfuge. The discovery underscored the hidden potential within the dungeon, the latent power that could be harnessed by those willing to delve into its depths. Before departing, the other hunters expressed their concern for the fallen comrades, those who had not survived Taishik's betrayal. They spoke of the importance of proper farewells, of honoring those who had made the ultimate sacrifice. But the urgency of the situation demanded immediate action. They vowed to return and attend to the somber task, but for now, their priority was to secure the area and inform the authorities. With the departure of the other hunters, a profound silence descended upon the cavern. Jin-Woo was left alone with his thoughts, the weight of his recent experiences settling upon him. He pondered the nature of the darkness he had confronted, not just the monstrous entities from beyond the gate, but the darkness that resided within the hearts of men. The words of Nietzsche returned, a chilling reminder of the delicate balance between hunter and hunted, between fighting the abyss and becoming a part of it. The arrival of guild officials shattered the quietude, marking the beginning of a formal investigation. The incident had sent ripples through the Hunters Guild, prompting a swift and decisive response. Jin-Woo found himself face-to-face with Woo Jin-Sho, the formidable head of the monitoring division, a man known for his sharp intellect and unwavering dedication to upholding the guild's regulations. The interrogation was thorough, every detail scrutinized, every action analyzed. Jin-Woo, after careful consideration, decided to reveal the truth about his awakening, the sudden surge of power that had transformed him. He recounted the events of the confrontation with Taishik, explaining how he, a seemingly unremarkable C-rank hunter, had managed to overcome a seasoned B-rank assassin. The revelation was met with understandable disbelief. The notion of a C-rank hunter overpowering a B-rank, especially one as skilled as Taishik, defied conventional wisdom. Questions hung in the air, unspoken but palpable, regarding the veracity of Jin-Woo's account. Despite the skepticism, Woo Jin-Sho recognized the gravity of the situation and the importance of Jin-Woo's cooperation. He requested his assistance in compiling official reports, a necessary procedure to document the incident and prevent future occurrences. Jin-Woo, understanding the need for transparency and accountability, readily agreed. The conversation then turned to the wider implications of the incident, the potential fallout that could extend far beyond the confines of the dungeon. Woo Jin-Sho issued a stark warning about Hwang Dong-soo, the younger brother of the infamous S-rank hunter, Hwang Dong-suk. Dong-soo was known for his volatile temperament and his unwavering loyalty to his family. Woo Jin-Sho cautioned that he might seek retribution for the events that had transpired, placing Jin-Woo squarely in his sights. The warning was chilling in its implications. Jin-Woo had inadvertently made a powerful and potentially dangerous enemy, a hunter whose influence and power extended far beyond the reach of ordinary law enforcement. Woo Jin-Sho suggested that relocating, perhaps even leaving the country, might be the safest course of action, a way to avoid the impending storm. Jin-Woo, however, remained steadfast. He refused to be intimidated, refusing to cower in the face of potential danger. He had faced the abyss within the dungeon, and he would not shy away from the challenges that lay before him. As the investigation progressed, Jin-Woo found himself reflecting on his own transformation, the profound changes that had taken place within him. He had once been a hunter struggling to survive, barely clinging to the lowest rungs of the hunter hierarchy. Now, he possessed a power that rivaled even the most experienced and formidable hunters. The change was more than just physical. It was a fundamental shift in his perception of himself and the world around him. He felt a growing sense of responsibility, a burden of power that weighed heavily upon him. He had glimpsed the darkness that lurked both within the monstrous entities he fought and within the hearts of men, and he knew that the fight was far from over. The dungeon incident had been a catalyst, a pivotal moment that had irrevocably altered the course of his life. He was no longer the same person who had entered those depths. He was stronger, more resilient, and acutely aware of the dangers that surrounded him. The abyss had indeed gazed into him, and in that exchange, something profound had occurred. He was no longer just a hunter. He was something more, something different. He was a force of change, a beacon of resilience in a world teetering on the brink of chaos. The journey ahead would be fraught with peril. He would encounter new adversaries, face unimaginable challenges, and be tested in ways he could scarcely comprehend. But he would face them with unwavering resolve, carrying the echo of the abyss within him, a constant reminder of the power he now wielded and the responsibility that came with it. The story of Sung Jin-Woo was far from over. It was a story of transformation, of the constant struggle against the encroaching darkness, and of the enduring strength of the human spirit. The abyss had gazed into him, and he had returned the gaze, ready to confront whatever destiny had in store. This expanded narrative delves deeper into the psychological and emotional impact of the events on Jin-Woo. It explores the themes of responsibility, transformation, and the struggle against inner darkness in greater detail. The descriptions are more vivid, creating a more immersive experience for the reader. The pacing is adjusted to allow for more character development and reflection. The expanded narrative continues to avoid explicit descriptions of violence, focusing instead on the consequences and aftermath of conflict. It also emphasizes the philosophical underpinnings of the story, drawing on Nietzsche's quote to explore the complex relationship between the hunter and the hunted. The added length allows for a more nuanced exploration of the characters and their motivations, creating a richer and more compelling narrative. The focus remains on creating a suspenseful and engaging story without resorting to graphic depictions of violence. Jin-Woo, you've changed a lot, a voice observed, the tone laced with quiet contemplation. The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken years. And I haven't changed a bit since then. A self-deprecating chuckle followed, a stark contrast to the gravity of the statement. The speaker acknowledged the transformations time and experience had carved into Jin-Woo, lines etched deep by the brutal hand of the hunter's life, while their own existence seemed to have stagnated, a still pool reflecting a relentless, unchanging sky. You've also experienced many different hardships, they continued, their voice softer now, almost hesitant. The unspoken acknowledgement of shared trials hung between them, a silent understanding forged in the crucible of fear and loss. Changing is different for everyone, they concluded, a simple statement that held the weight of a profound truth. It was a recognition of the unique paths they'd taken, diverging yet bound by the shared reality of their profession. You're right, Jin-Woo agreed, his voice a low murmur, the years mirroring the changes in his companion's tone. The other hunter, a B-rank healer, shifted uncomfortably. You know, they confessed, a tremor in their voice betraying the underlying vulnerability. I get scared way too easily to be a hunter. The words were a jarring admission, a crack in the facade of professional composure. The fear, once a hidden tremor, now resonated with raw honesty. I tried to overcome my fears, they continued, their voice gaining a touch of defiance. But it wasn't easy. The struggle was palpable, the unspoken battles fought in the shadows of countless dungeons. As a B-rank healer, I'm typically assigned to A or B-rank dungeons, they explained, the routine a stark reminder of their professional limitations. Sometimes even C-rank if my condition isn't optimal. A pause, a breath taken to gather strength. But I still join D or E-rank raids. The confession hung in the air, a surprising revelation. And then I constantly met you, Jin-Woo. The words were laced with a mixture of exasperation and grudging admiration. I kept healing the injuries that never stopped appearing on you. A rueful laugh escaped their lips, a self-deprecating humor that lightened the gravity of the confession. To be honest, they admitted, you got hurt so much it became pretty annoying. Their initial perception of Jin-Woo, once clouded by frustration, now held a different light. I thought you were stupid and vain at times, they confessed with a wry smile. The judgment was honest, yet tinged with a newfound respect. But you always managed to survive, they conceded, their voice filled with awe. Those eyes brimming with life. They seemed like they were screaming for survival, for tomorrow. A note of quiet sadness entered their voice. But I don't think I'll ever be able to have those eyes, they admitted, the words carrying the weight of a profound self-assessment. A flicker of memory ignited their face. You promised we'd eat together when we came back alive, didn't you? The promise, a fragile thread of hope in the harsh landscape of their profession, was a powerful bond. I'll return this weight by you. The announcement that followed was unexpected, a definitive end to a chapter. I'm retiring. I'm gonna head back to my hometown, Busan. The decision, though final, held a sense of peace. An invitation, simple yet heartfelt, followed. Tell me if you ever visit, they said, a warmth in their voice that belied their earlier apprehension. I'll buy you some fresh sashimi. A brief explanation followed, delivered with a touch of playful informality. Sashimi is a Japanese delicacy, consisting of very fresh raw meat or fish, sliced into thin pieces and often eaten with soy sauce. Jinwoo's response was simple, understated. Okay. But the silence held the weight of unspoken gratitude and shared understanding. A new resolve solidified within Jin-Woo. The weight of the healer's words, the acknowledgement of his own relentless pursuit of survival, forged a new steel in his determination. I just got another reason to become stronger, he thought, the words a silent vow. The name of the S-rank hunter echoed in his mind, a name synonymous with power and a challenge he couldn't ignore. S-rank hunter Hwang Dong-soo. The urgency of his situation was stark, undeniable. I need to get stronger fast, he determined, his thoughts a sharp, focused laser beam. Only then will I survive. His encounter with Eugene Ho was a sharp shift from the quiet contemplation of the previous meeting. He found Eugene Ho overseeing a motley group of hunters, an unusual assembly. Look, Eugene Ho, Jin-Woo remarked. his tone sharp with curiosity. What's all this? What do you mean by all this? Jin-Ho's explanation was swift and to the point. They are teammates for today. Those who have a hunter's license but can't attend raids due to various reasons, injured, those who are struggling in life because of various reasons, were drafted into our team. Jinwoo's eyes fell on a young person amongst them, a stark contrast to the weathered faces of the other hunters. Is a kid even allowed to do raids? Jin-Ho's reply was concise. If an underage kid is awakened, then there's no law banning them from raids. The young hunter, bristling at the implication, retorted, Kid? That's rude. I'm a full-fledged hunter. Jinwoo's assessment was direct, devoid of unnecessary pleasantries. You're a high schooler, right? Do you have any raid experience? None, E-rank I assume. He offered a solution, a pragmatic approach. Well, it's okay. You don't have to follow me into the dungeon. Just wait outside. Only Jin-Ho and I will go in. We weren't allowed to attempt a C-rank dungeon with just the two of us, so that's why we brought you guys as well. By law, a C-rank raid needs 10 people. Doubt rippled through the assembled hunters. One voiced the collective question. A C-rank dungeon with just the two of them? Are they really that strong? And will you really give each of us the promised amount even when we stay outside? Jin-Ho's assurance was firm, his voice carrying a hint of underlying calculation. Yes, of course. It's a pretty damn good deal considering that you don't have to lift a finger. All you have to do is wait for us outside until we finish. However, you must not tell anyone what you've seen or heard here. If you do, you must pay back 10 times as much as you earned. It's all written in the contract you've signed. Jin-Ho's gaze then shifted to Jinwoo's attire, a sudden change in focus. But you know, I've been wondering what the hell are you wearing? Jinwoo's response was simple, a matter-of-fact explanation. It's a full set of hardened armor, made in an Italian artisan guild. If we're going to raid with just the two of us, shouldn't I prepare at least this much? Jin-Ho's response was a good-natured jest. Just take off the armor when I'm asking you nicely. A simple request followed, a small act of dependence amidst the display of strength. Yes, brother, please help me up. Whispers rippled through the remaining hunters, their observations laced with skepticism and speculation. They are going to raid the C-rank dungeon by themselves? They don't look that strong. If they are strong enough to clear C-rank dungeons by themselves, then wouldn't it be better to clear high-rank dungeons given from large guilds? What happens if they both meet with misfortune? Another hunter's response was pragmatic, a reflection of their own self-interest. Well, we did receive our payment, so? A cynical observation followed. Tisk, they are showing off. Youth showing off will naturally bring about unfortunate circumstances for many people. Their return was met with a mixture of relief and renewed speculation. The whispers turned to overt investigation, fueled by curiosity and a sudden surge of suspicion. The quiet observation of Jin-Woo and Jin-Ho's success triggered a chain reaction, a sudden rush to uncover the truth behind their seemingly impossible feat. The name Sung Jin-Woo, once a whisper in the shadows, was about to burst into the light.